Hello everyone, Stefan here. It's November 23rd and I thought it might be a good idea to walk you through the Advanced Product Backlog Management online course with AI. My goodness, what a title. It'll change end of January because I'm planning to add a new longer section on product operating models, and then we will reshuffle the title here a bit. Okay, so what it is all about. We have a lot of sessions here, as you can see. It's centered around the idea that for figuring out what is really worth building, satisfying the requirements of your users, make them happy users and customers that will actually contribute to your organization's bottom line. We need to come up with a process that actually fits our needs, and this is what it's all about. So, how is that working? It starts basically, let's skip the introductory part, with what I call the big product picture. The big product picture is basically centered around the idea of alignment of everyone, not just alignment among your team members, but also alignment with your stakeholders. And there is this big product picture that actually allows us to have a better understanding when to use what kind of tool, because we start with a vision on the one side and we end with shipping product increments on the other side. And honestly, we like to make mistakes further to the left and to the right, because on the right side it's really expensive, and I explained to you how that basically works. We have a look at the many different techniques here. For example, product strategy canvas from Pavel, or the lean canvas from Ash Moria, and then we're slowly but steadily going down. We have a close look at the Go product roadmap from Roman Pichler, now next later roadmap from Jana Basto, and we also consider things like the opportunity canvas from Jeff Patton, and whoops, sorry. And my goodness, this is really quite a lot. So we address 8 canvases in total that will help you to support the alignment process across your organization and your teams at various levels. We also have deep dive into product backlog management, and by all means we will not just think about how a decent product backlog management process looks like, but also figure out a lot of individual aspects that will help you as a team create decent backlogs. So what is an anti-product backlog? Spoiler alert, it's a very helpful artifact, more in the course. What are valid product backlog items? What is a user story? And why not every product backlog item is a user story? What is this refinement thing? How do you order them? Is it useful to estimate these things? Probably yes, depending on which faction you belong to. What about forecasting? Product backlog assessment, how may that work? What I added recently is a whole section on generative AI for Agile Practitioners, and this is really a 4-hour walk through the whole ideas here. So why it is helpful, what tools are available, and what actually ethical AI means in practice. We put a lot of emphasis on basic prompting. How does it work? Because I don't know how the interface will look like 2 years from now, but for now, you really need to understand how prompting works. How do you customize your profile so that you get better answers? What is meta prompting? Is there a framework for prompting? Yes, of course there is, and we will talk about this as well. We also talk about deep research reports, how those work, how you can run Q&A on deep research reports. Spoiler alert, never accept the first offer. That also applies to deep research reports that we have here. We built GEMS projects and GPTs depending on where you are. So ChatGPT, Gemini, or Claude, what the advantages are, and What else? Yeah, of course. We also applied our work, our GPTs, on the canvases we created earlier for the big product picture because, spoiler alert, you can pre-populate the canvases if you prepare such a workshop with your team, for example, so that you, as the facilitator, have a better understanding how this actually works. We have a large session on using AI to work with unstructured data, like turning feature requests into test cards and learning cards, and what makes sense and how do we know it makes sense, and how may our hypothesis look in the end, how we can analyze meeting notes, for example, and how we can analyze customer support issues to have a better understanding how this might work. Then, as you can see here, we also all the time have student tasks, so where I provide you with the data necessary, and you can run these sessions yourself and then compare it to what I created earlier. Okay, we have a few productivity hacks like Notebook LM and Gemini quizzes and whatnot, and we close the whole thing with the Scrum process. So in this chapter, I walk you through how Scrum is supposed to work. Advanced product backlog management course, points to Scrum, and I still believe Scrum is helpful if you know what you're doing, and even in part it is helpful if you know what you're doing. And I will explain that to you so that you have a better understanding. Okay, what do we use? Health XYZ, we have a little startup. It's personalized wellness tracking, and Health XYZ is basically our little use case that we apply to all the exercises that we have here, starting with the canvases to create alignment on the one side, and ending with customer support issues on the other side to figure out, okay, what opportunities are hidden in plain sight in the customer support issues. And you will have a good understanding of Health XYZ after the course, and it's really a good approach. Okay, big product picture, mentioned that earlier. What else do we have? Product backlog management. So I explained the whole system here. As you can see, only the right part, the part on the right side actually is Scrum, all the rest, of course, not Scrum. And although it's labeled with product backlog management, actually you already have the core process of any product operating model here included, which also means that the step from product backlog management to actually product operating model in form of an updated course is not that large. And I'm already working on this as well. Okay, here, for example, the session, how you can turn a product requirement document first into a test card and then into a learning card. It's really helpful from that perspective. And as you can see, you have a lot of downloads here. It's not just that you get the product requirement documents. Of course, you need to have them, but you also get the documents where you can do this, etc. pp. And what prompts are used and what results came out of this, so that you can fully understand what this is all about and how you can use this in practice. And let me close to round up the whole thing here. Also created a lot of GPTs that you can use. For example, of course, our little startup has a GPT where we put in all the information that we have, all the documents that we create here, and where you can which you can use as a sort of wiki if you want, and where you can run exercises if you want. It's really helpful. I also turned my book, the Scrum Anti-Patterns Guide, into a GPT. So if you want to learn or have a better understanding or start understanding why Scrum is not working in your organization, that is the place to go. You can ask a lot of questions here. I also created a GPT on the future of work based on a lot of documents from highly recognized companies and organizations from academia, top consultancies, about how knowledge work might change over time, given that generative AI is here to stay. Then, of course, I have the product operating model GPT already. So that's my private one so far. And I add a lot of content I find available to that one to better learn and understand all of this. Yeah. What else? We have an editor GPT. This is a critical element of one of the student exercises where you create a deep research report and then you need to run a quality assurance round on top of that. And this editor GPT is really helpful in that respect. It's based on academic and publishing standards, and it is strict, I can tell you. And finally, some of you who are located in Europe may be interested in how the European AI Act may influence the future work. And I created a GPT for myself, to understand the whole topic with all the legal text from Brussels. And it's interesting. So if you have any questions regarding the European AI Act, please go there and have a look. So all of this is one single package. It's a lifetime subscription, and certainly prices will increase starting next year, when I will be adding the whole product operating model on top of that, and probably rearrange a few things here and there. And I plan to update the course at least twice a year. I managed to do so this year, and I'm optimistic that I will be able to do so next year as well. So I hope that you enjoyed this, and that I will see you on the other side.